going live. Okay, sorry about that. Again, I apologize. The internet is really bad here. It's really bad and knocked me out. It really did. And I apologize for that. So again, if you guys can come back on YouTube, that'd be nice. I appreciate that very much. Joe Robello, how are you doing, Joe? Good to hear from you, my friend. Good to see you. Joe Robello, thank you for sharing the IK International Karate Championship stories. Weren't they the best, though, Joe? The internationals, it was just the best there was. I loved, if you didn't go to the internationals, if you were part of the internationals, you're an old fart like me and Joe Robello. Sorry, Joe. Back at the internationals, it's a big, oval ring. It's a big oval, shall we say. And all the rings are there, and you walk around the whole place. And we walk around, and it would take an hour to walk around. Why did it take an hour? Because we kept bumping into all our old friends who were there. I would see, Brendan Lai there. I'd see all these people there all the time, and we just sit and talk, and we take an hour to get around. But it was a lot of fun to be part of that. Very exciting time to be part of the internationals. It's just an amazing time. So anyway, again, thank you guys. I appreciate you coming back on to YouTube. Again, I apologize. The internet here went out and it knocked everything out. So sorry about that. I deeply sorry about that. Anyway, so I say again all that information about the internationals and about other stuff to say, look, we do our best. We do our best. Joe knows what I mean. Joe knows what I mean. In case Joe came on a little later, but there's something that was out there, and I'm not going to say who it was, where it was, or anything, but the inaccuracy of the information was very sad to say the least. And we do our best. We do our best we're not paid staff here. It's just me and a few people. John Corcoran used to help me all the time. And we do our best to keep history correct, and we do that as much as we can. But to have such inaccurate information was, what can I say? Doesn't give you good taste. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm not going to say anything more. Oh, Sean Funa's question, what happened to Alex Kwok? I think he was supposed to be Bruce Lee. Yes, I remember that. Remember he was on the back of Inside Kung Fu, or the last page, and he had a sword. Remember that? And Alex Kwok to play the next Bruce Lee. Then you never saw it again. You never saw it again. So, David Robertson, thank you for watching. Okay, so everybody, again, I'll say it. If you are on Facebook Live, can you also sign up for YouTube, the Martial Arts History Museum channel? That way we can get points on there. Joe Robello says it's frozen. Well, I started a new one now, so you can watch the new one. So I restarted that. It's the internet here. It goes down so much. I don't know why the spectrum, they say the, least amount of drops. No, they got the most amount of drops. It's horrible here at Spectrum. It's horrible. Anyway, let's see. A few other questions are down. Do you remember Peter Urban or the early pioneers? Oh, yes. Yes, I remember many of the early pioneers. I remember when, who was it? Who introduced Fumio Demura? Joe, help me out. Fumio Demura, he brought him here. Was it Aaron? No, it was not Aaron. It was brothers, right? Two brothers. Kervin? No, not Aaron. No. Oh, it's at the top of my head, and I can't remember who brought him. What is his name that brought Fumio Demura? When Fumio Demura came here to America, he went to the Japanese deer park here in Buena Park, not far from here. And that's where I met him. I was a young kid, back then. I think I was in junior high or high school. And I met him doing exhibits at the Japanese deer garden. And that's where I met him. I said, hello, how are you, sir? I remember shaking his hand. I remember meeting him back then. And I was so impressed. And I've gotten to know Sensei Fumio all these years. He's been here many, many times at the museum, and he's just become such a dear friend. So, it was kind of fun to meet those guys from back then. Here in Southern California, we are lucky to have almost everybody's here. Benny Ukita, Sensei Benny is not far from here. I just talked to Graciela Casillas like 20 minutes ago, right before this conversation, I talked to Graciela Casillas. She's just doing a video for us. How wonderful. Thank you, Graciela. Beautiful kickboxer, great kickboxer, one of the greats in the world. And I just want to point out one of the greats as well, and someone that has been forgotten by many is Lily Rodriguez, Benny Ukita's sister. What are the pioneers, the pioneer for women's kickboxing? Before there was Graciela, there was Lily Rodriguez. What a pioneer. And I hope she gets more recognition than she's had. You know, she passed away not too long ago. Just a beautiful person. My mom used to hem her dresses when I was little. So I used to see Lily when I was quite young. And then I used to go over to her studio, to her house, many times to watch her fight and practice before she passed away, and of complications at the hospital. But the wife of Blinky Rodriguez, but what a wonderful woman, Lily Ukita's. This is the mother of kickboxing. This is the woman who really started it all. And I just privileged to know her, and I wish she'd get more recognition for what she's done. You know, since she passed away and all that, you know, not much recognition is out there, but I'm glad we're always recognizing pioneers in the martial arts. So Patchy Knife, thank you so much. Thank you, my dear friend. Patchy Knife Training with Robert Redfeather, thank you so much. Kempo Joe, you are the man. Always the man, Kempo Joe. What a great guy you are. What a great man you are, Kempo Joe. Great man, Joe Bella. Michael Moore, thank you for watching, Michael. Very kind of you. Very kind of you all watching on Facebook. Again, I apologize for Facebook dropping. YouTube dropping. The connection is just horrible. It's just horrible. Daryl Vidal. Hey, how are you, my friend? Did you hear Daryl Vidal's name? It was mentioned on the Cobra Kai. He goes, oh, he went to get this opponent. It was Daryl Vidal. How cool was that to have your name mentioned on network TV right there? How cool is that? Everybody now knows Daryl Vidal. Whoa, that's so cool. So cool. Joe Rebello, I have a couple Inside Kung Fu magazines. I told you I don't have. I'm going to send you that list, and I'll show you the ones I have. I'm trying to put the magazines together, all the covers, year to year, every 5 years, and I'm going to post them here on Facebook. But I want to keep them for the archives, so I'm trying to get them all together. And I'm having trouble getting them all together, of finding them. You know, some copies are just not out there, but I'm trying to find them. So anyway, Kempo shows Daryl, the creator of the crane kick. You are too funny. You are too. Daryl showed them how to do the crane kick in the Karate Kid movies, in case you didn't know. Now, crane style is a style I do as well. Besides monkey kung fu, I did Hungar kung fu, and I get crane style kung fu. So that move is actually in crane style kung fu. You put your hands like this and you do the kick. So the move is in crane style kung fu. But it was Daryl Vidal who brought that attention to the studio. Am I correct, Daryl? You brought that attention to them and showed them, hey, try this. And sure enough, they tried it and loved it. So it was Daryl who was responsible for opening their eyes to a beautiful traditional kick from the crane style kung fu, and that they used in the Karate Kid movie. So thank you, Daryl, for opening their eyes to it. It's a nice, great representation to honor crane style kung fu. I myself, who studied Tiger and Crane with Pak Sim Kong and Monkey Kung Fu for 40 years now, I'm now going back to my roots and redoing my crane style. And I've been doing that for the last 2 months now. And I love the style. And sure enough, that move is in there. And I just love that style. I love the crane style. I'm no expert at it, but it was part of my system back when I was with Pak Sim Kong. So I'm really pleased to do the crane style. So again, thank you to Daryl Vidal. He's the man who opened that door and kept our history of crane style alive in the Karate Kid. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good series. You know, you got to admit, it's a great series. Now, I read and I heard this, that that the clips that they're using from the Karate Kid movies in the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai are different. Did you notice them? They're slightly different. Why are they different? Because of all the different scenes they cut out, okay, that they didn't use, now using in Cobra Kai, which is great. I'm really glad they use it. There's a lot of stuff I noticed. Hey, wait a minute. I don't remember them doing that in this scene. That's because they used the clips that were out of there. Now, I showed one of the videos, some back clips of the behind the scenes of the Karate Kid, and there was Daryl Vidal fighting all these people. So he didn't just do one fight. He did, or a couple of fights. He did a whole bunch of fights, but they didn't put them all in there. That would have been great, Daryl, if they would have been in there. But they didn't put them all in there. So, that was kind of, Kempo Joe, Southern Crane. That's what I did. Hungar. Thank you for mentioning that. So anyway, they put those scenes in there. So it's kind of cool to see that in Cobra Kai. I really like the show. Great show. Can't say enough about it. Anna says, hopefully more women will be recognized for their contributions. Well, as you know, this sport was primarily men, but women have come along and really, got out there and got recognized. Look at my close friend, Cynthia Rothrock. Cynthia Rothrock and I own a company together, a small little video company together. And just a wonderful person inside and out. And she came along. I remember when she came along, back in the days, me and Mario Prado were out there. My dear friend Mario Prado, he's the cover photographer for Black Belt magazine. And we went to school together, went to college together, university. And then he was a photographer and I was a journalist at the time. And we used to hang out together and we watched Cynthia compete back in the early days, which is pretty cool to be there to see Cynthia when she first started. So that was kind of neat. And then you have some fantastic women, Luciana and Rengen, I forget how, Rjinker, Reckner, right? I forget how to call it. Kickboxer. I have to look at the name. I can't pronounce it too well. Then you have Graciela Casillas. Oh my God, such amazing women. Michelle Mano. So many more amazing women out there doing great stuff for the martial arts and making the martial arts more open. I'm going on and on. I know. But there's one thing about the art of kung fu, which I do. I do kung fu. I've done judo, and if you are Joe knows this, Kempo Joe, you know this. Back in the early days in the 50s and 60s, there was only one real style you could take, and it was judo. That was it, right, Joe? Everybody did judo. What did Howard DeCosca start? Oh, I started in judo. Everybody started in judo. Gene LaBelle had a school out here. I remember Gene LaBelle. Being out here again in Southern California, you get to meet everybody and see everybody all the time. And I mean all the time. I see, Don Wilson all the time, see Cynthia all the time, see everybody all the time. You get to know them. They're great people. Many of them are great people, and it's great to hang out with them and grow up with them, especially, So I was very, very, very honored to be that and know them as well. But, get to see people like Cynthia and so many other people, expand the martial arts for women and open new doors for women. It's just amazing. Now, as I was saying, I did judo in the starting. I later did karate and jujitsu, and then I got into kung fu. And kung fu was my main thing. Kung fu was my main thing. Yeah, Joe says Bill Wallace started in judo. Yep, everybody started in judo. If you did martial arts in the 50s and 60s, I know you're no fart like me. 50s and 60s, that's it. There was judo, and that was it. And back then, if you weren't 16, they didn't teach you. That's just the way it was. They didn't teach kids back there. You were lucky. Some people did. Now, I was very lucky because I was part of the Japanese Community Center, so I was able to learn there. They accepted me in there. It's because that was a community center I attended. So me and Donalisa were two 7 or 8 year old kids amongst 16 to 40-year-old judo players in there. And we were the smallest, the littlest, and they threw us around like rag dolls. Our mats were made out of hay. We had to sweep the floor, clean the floor, and then put these hay mats. Boy, it was tough. That was tough. But, to get to see, and sorry for going off track, but to get to see guys like Gene LaBelle. Oh my God. If you never met Gene LaBelle, you got to know Gene LaBelle. Oh, Anna says, do you know Michelle Krasno? Oh, yes, I know Michelle. I remember when Michelle just started. I remember when she started. doing tournaments. I remember back then. Yes, I was there. I was there when so many people were just starting. You know, you know. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Jean LaBelle. It was fun to watch Jean LaBelle. Jean LaBelle was a judo player, the godfather of grappling. That's the man. That's the man, Jean LaBelle. So here I was, a little kid, and right over here down the street is the Valley Garden. The Valley Garden's on near the Burbank Airport. It's on Vineland, and there it is. That's where they did the wrestling at. So all the wrestlers were there. So Jean LaBelle, even though he was a judo guy, he did wrestling. Okay, so he did wrestling there. So he was competing there as a wrestler. And I remember I used to go there and I watched Jean LaBelle and fight all these guys, Freddie Blassie and all these guys, and then see The Rock's father, Rocky Johnson. Rocky Johnson was my favorite wrestler of all time. He was really nice person. Here I was, a little kid, back then, and I had really close to the ring because it's not a big place, and I got to see them and shake their hand. Hello, how are you? And he was very nice to me. I never forgot that of Rocky Johnson being very nice to me, and I really appreciate people who are nice to me, and I remember them. And that was very cool to meet Rocky Johnson, The Rock's father. The guy who rocked it. They play who's The Rock. They call him The Rock. What's his name? Yeah, I'm so used to calling him The Rock. But to meet his father, which was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. So I used to go there, and I used to see Jean LaBelle wrestle and all that. I remember one time, so funny. Freddie Blassie was wrestling one of these guys. I don't remember who he was. And Freddie Blassie was the bad guy. And I remember near ringside, there was this old guy, and he had a cane. And he was smoking a cigarette, and he had some tape, and he taped it onto the end of the cane. And as soon as Freddie Blassie fell near the ring barrier, he would stick him with a cigarette. Funniest thing you ever saw. That was not part of the script, but that was pretty funny to see that. Oh, Kempo Joseph's Dwayne Johnson. Thank you. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson, Rocky Johnson's son. So Rocky Johnson was just a great, great guy, really nice person. I always cheered for him all the time, and just a lovely man. So it was great to know him. I didn't know him personally, but I met him every time he competed at the Valley Garden, which we were there all the time. I don't know why my dad would take us. We were so young, but here we are watching professional wrestling. And I'd see Jean LaBelle up there all the time. So it was kind of cool to see Jean back in those days. They were really rough guys back then. But that was kind of fun to see him back then. So anyway, yes, let me see a few more questions on here. Okay, Bill started judo. Bill Wallace started judo. Oh yes. Oh yeah, definitely. We all did, guys. We all did. Judo was the main stuff. Daryl, remember seeing my teacher? Right, Brack. He competed in the 1980. He started in 1980, maybe 79, 80. I think it was 80 because we were going to class together. We started Hungar together, my instructor and I, and then we did Monkey later together. And then I think he started entering in 80, 81, something like that. So anyway, yes, Michelle Krasno. Oh, yes, I remember them all. Stream all sorted. Dwayne Johnson. Okay, very good. Let's see the other side. I got two sets of questions over here. Very good. He was a bad dude. Guys, I say this out of all sincerity. There are just some wonderful competitors, martial artists, great people out there. I am thrilled to see them all the time. They help the museum all the time, and many paid people, but there are many who are not great people out there. I can tell you that. It's like bursting your bubble when you meet them, and you're expecting, such, ooh, there's so-and-so, and you meet them, and they are not that person that you expected. They're terrible. I'm not going to say names. I don't say names, but there are some people that you wish you never met. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just, what can I say? What can I say? And when I see him on the screen, I no longer see him that way. I used to watch and see, ooh, there's so and so. Look at them. And then when I see them now, after I get to meet them and know they're not such a good person after all, I don't like watching them at all anymore in the movies. So anyway, I don't name names, guys. I don't name names. I just say, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, Anna says, do you remember Dan Ivan? Oh, yes, Dan Ivan. Dan Ivan, thank you. Dan Ivan was the name of the guy who brought Fumio Demura here to America. Thank you, Anna. Yep, Dan Ivan. Lovely man, Dan. I only met Dan once. He was performing with Fumio Demura. Fumio Demura. Peter Urban. Yes, I met Peter. Moses Powell. I never got to meet Moses Powell. And Don Draeger was already passed away, right? Don Draeger passed away. But I never got to meet him. I knew who he was. I never got to meet everybody, but I knew who he was. I knew who Bruce Lee was at the time because Bruce Lee was alive when I was practicing. I was doing Kung Fu, and there was this guy, Bruce Lee. He was so fast, really sharp martial arts. Young guy who's like in his 20s or something, or 30s. His 20s, late 20s, when I knew who he was. We all knew who he was when he came here to America, and was practicing, working out. So, I never got to see him. Dummy me. I never went down to the school to see him. I should have, it's stupid me. I didn't do it. And who would have known he would have passed away? But yes, Bruce Lee, I remember Bruce Lee. I remember him very well, and how people were talking about how fast this young guy was, and he was getting into the movies and all that. And I remember back then. Kempo Joe has a question. Was that at the Deer Park? Yes, that is the official name. Let me see. It is, the Japanese Village and Deer Park. I think that's what the full name was. It was there in Buena Park in Orange County. I went there so much. They used to do pearl diving, and it was like a little Japan. It was a little Japan. It was the coolest thing you ever saw. And, and I used to go down there all the time. They're probably sick of me, just to see Fumio out there, just to hang around, the feeling of a Japanese deer park. Felt like I hadn't been to Japan. Dummy me, I haven't been to Japan yet. I am getting ready to go to Japan. Too many things have come my way. I started learning Japanese for a couple of years, getting ready, but I haven't gone yet. But at least it got me kind of close to Japan, and to be part of the deer park was really fun. Fumio Demura still has the actual drum that had the name Japanese Deer Park. He has that at his studio. So that's kind of cool. I remember that deer park like it was yesterday. That was very cool. Anyway, Robert says, wow, what a shame you didn't see Bruce Lee. I know. I kick myself many times for not seeing them enough. I was a writer back in the early 80s for Inside Kung Fu and Black Belt. And then I got to meet more people in Jun Chong and other people like that. I got to meet Daniel Santo was my first interview back in 83. And all these guys I got to meet through as a writer for the magazine for 20 years for Inside Kung Fu and Black Belt magazine. So I got to meet a lot of people that way, but I never got to meet Bruce Lee. I just kicked myself because I had the opportunity to go down there and see him, and I did not. What can I say? Bruce's 80th birthday, right, this year. I think it was like last week or something like that. But anyway, I know. He says you will forever. I know. It's just like getting the signatures on the magazine or something. I'm not a good one for getting signatures. And lo and behold, people like Bill Ryusaki, just a beautiful guy, a nice guy, what a great teacher, and just a good friend. And to come over the house and help me out here and there and never get him to sign something, I kick myself for that as well. And same thing with Wally J, oh my God, with those luau's. And I never didn't get his signature on anything. At least I got to meet them and know them and be part of that. But, gosh, I kick myself for not getting their signature. And, Anna says, hope you meet Sonny Chiba and Shokasugi in Japan someday. I met Sonny Chiba a couple years ago at a convention. Sonny Chiba, I met him there. And Shokasugi, I never got to meet Sho. I never met Shokasugi. You know, as you guys know, Shokasugi did the ninjas, all the ninja guys. He did all the movies, the ninja. He didn't know any ninja, but he did all the ninja. So which is kind of cool. He probably watched videos and watched Stephen Hayes or something like that. Stephen Hayes was a great guy too. But yeah, Shokasugi, he was the guy. He was the guy doing ninja. They couldn't get any better on film with Shokasugi. There was just no better. He was just the guy for doing ninja. Oh, Roberts has a question. Daniel Santo would love to meet him. What an awesome, lovely guy. Dan is a great guy. You know, he was my very first interview in 1983. And then I went over his place, I think last year, before the COVID. I went to see him in the studio and hung out with him for a little while. So it was good to see him again. I hadn't seen him in 30 years. So I said, you know, I got to go see Daniel Santos. So I went down there and said hello. Always gracious, Daniel Santos. What a talented man he is. You know, Daniel Santos was a student of both Ed Parker and both Arkwai Wong. You know, everybody was a student with Arkwai Wong. You know, even Ed Parker was a student of Arkwai Wong. So everybody, almost everybody trained with Arkwai Wong. What a great man Arkwai Wong was. Just a beautiful man, lovely man. I was so intimidated by I used to go to Doug Wong's studio and he'd sit right in front of me. So he'd sit right in the front chair and I'd say, hello, how are you? And that was it. And I'd see him all the time, but I was just too intimidated. I say, my God, here's the father of Kung Fu in America. And there he is sitting right in front of me. And I just too intimidated to say anything. So anyway, at least I got to meet him a little bit. Anyway, Robert says, Dan Inosanto is 80 and still trains 8 hours a day and gives lessons and seminars. Just incredible. Oh, yes, he is. Yes, he's just a great man. And, you know, just a beautiful man. Kempo Joe says, didn't he do occasional demo at the Deer Park with Demura? You know, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember tons of demos there, but the only one I remember well was Fumio Demura, and then Dan Ivan was there. But Fumio Demura, I got to talk to and shake hands with, and he was very open to me. So that's the guy I remember. Dan may have done it. Everybody did it over at the Deer Park. They were all there demonstrating. It was a great time to demonstrate, great place to do it. And everybody was there. Everybody was there. And that was just a lot of fun. Oh, another question says, Kempo Joe Kosugi, Shokasugi, huh? I should have seen him at the seminar in the 90s in London, but I had to get back to work. I kicked myself over and over that one. I know, you know, Robert lives far away and other people live far away and they don't get to see these guys, you know, and only when they have seminars. For those of us, Americans, and all of us who live in Southern California, we get to see them a lot. And especially great guys who help out the museum all the time. I can't say enough of Mark Dacascos, just a great guy. Cynthia, Don, you know, Michael Chai White, you know, all those guys, James Liu, Eric Lee, all, you know, all those guys that are here at the museum on a regular basis, and help out the museum. I can't say enough of them. I put a listing of martial arts stars, movie stars, and I listed all those, Jackie Chan and Chuck Norris and all those, but I put a little heart next to those who actually help the museum. And I cannot say enough. You know, I hope the big stars like the Chuck Norrises and the other guys would one day help the museum. They never have, never given us a dime, but I hope one day they will. I hope one day they will. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you to all those big movie stars and martial arts icons and pioneers who keep helping the museum all the time. Thank you so much. This museum is for all of us. It's for all of us. And it's not about me. It's never been about me. You don't see my picture all over the place here. You know, it's about our history and keeping it alive and doing whatever we can to keep the history alive. Robert says you are lucky over there. I know, it's kind of cool. You know, Jay Leno used to drive by here all the time. I would see Jay Leno when he did the Tonight Show, and he used to, because he has his cars right down the street. His cars literally at the garage place down the street. He has a storage of tons of cars, and he used to drive them right by the museum right here. So we go, hey, you know, or we go, hey there, Jay, and he'd wave back, and he would be so nice. Hi, how are you, and all that. So that was kind of cool to see a couple of movie stars here and there. So that's kind of neat. So let's say Robert says they should pay it forward. Yes, they should. Yes, they should. You know, I hope these guys, these big movie stars, who we supported back in the early days. We put our money down as we went to the theater and watched them on the screen, and we supported them. So I hope they will support the museum back, and that would be very nice. So if you know those guys, tell them come on board. We've tried to connect with them. We do our best. We've sent letters. We're tired of sending letters and phone calls and all that. We do our best and to get them to help. So, you know, what can we do? Hopefully they will help in the future. So Anna says, many movie stars that you put a video on in the Hall of Fame, maybe the legacy of remembered by future generations, inspired many people of all different necessities. Yes, you know, we do our best to the Hall of Fame. I'm very, very proud of the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is not selected by the museum. It is selected by the previous Hall of Famers. And it is the hardest thing to get into. The Hall of Fame should be the hardest thing to get into. It should be the hardest thing to get into. And I'm very happy that it is. I'm very happy that it is. And I'm very happy that the Hall of Famers are very picky of who they nominate. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that. I don't tell them, you know, you can't do this, you can't nominate this. It's up to them. But I'm very glad they're picky, you know, and I think it's important to have a Hall of Fame that people really honor and respect, you know, for, and it is based on those who made such a significant contribution, change history, which I'm very, very proud to have so many great people in the Hall of Fame. Robert says he has a question. Cynthia will chase them down. There you go. Cynthia, what a great, you know, person Cynthia is, you know, getting to know her as a competitor, and then her becoming a big movie star and all that. So Cynthia is just, she is just talented. The woman gets younger and younger every day. I think she's got a painting in the attic. You remember that story about the painting in the attic, because the painting gets old, but the person stays younger and younger. Cynthia gets younger and younger every day. She's so talented. She is just as good as she was back in the 80s. You know, she is just, what a talent she is. And I can't say enough of good friendship we have. She's just a beautiful woman. I am honored to call her one of my best friends, and just a beautiful person. We had a little company together that we do a lot of stuff with. So it's quite fun, you know, hanging out with Cynthia. She loves to travel, though. She loves to travel. She travels the world. You know, she has a season pass to Disneyland, so she's there all the time at Disneyland. I've been to Disneyland maybe twice, maybe in my life, maybe 3 times. I think that's it. So I know I should go more often. What can I say? Okay, there's a question over here. She's the best, a wonderful woman indeed, and her skills are off the chart. The image of Dorian Gray. Thank you, Kempo Joe. Yeah, Cynthia is just an amazing person, amazing person. And she keeps saying, I'm going to cut my hair short. I said, no, don't cut your hair short. You know, like we should do in the movies. She said, no, keep it long, keep it long. I like it long. Looks cool. So she's just a great person overall. Okay, anybody else have a question? I'm looking at the questions on here on both sides. I got here from YouTube and over here from Facebook questions. So let's see. A couple questions here. Okay. Oh, thank you. In regard to Dragon Fest. Okay. Yes. Dragon Fest. We're scheduling it for August 21st. We're just going to do a one-day one. We're penciling it in, guys, because we don't know, you know, if everybody gets the shots and how COVID restrictions are going to be. We don't know. Everything's up in the air right now. So we don't even know if they're going to allow us to have it. And we don't even know if the place that is going to have it, the venue, if they're going to be in business, because right now they're not letting them have any events there. And the place is designed for events. Are they going to last till October? I don't know. So everything's iffy for Dragon Fest. Everything is very iffy. We pencil it in. and we hope they will still be there, and we hope we can have Dragon Fest there. I hope so. We are planning to celebrate, I think it's the 35th anniversary of Big Trouble in Little China. I think it's the 35th. And we're going to try to get a hold of John Carpenter and Kurt Russell and James Hong and all the people involved in Big Trouble in Little China and do a nice big event there for Big Trouble in Little China. So, you know, General Kimura and James Liu and Abba Leong and all those guys. And so we're going to try to give it a big thing. And so we'll see what happens. But that's our goal, to be a big theme. We try to do a little bit of a theme and to do a big theme of something at Dragon Fest. So anyway, Anna has a question. Must the Hall of Fame inductors be practitioners of Asian martial arts? Is it okay they practice like boxing, wrestling, and capoeira? The focus is mostly Asian martial arts, but it's not limited to. Not limited to. We do have 1 or 2 boxing people in there, and we don't have any really wrestling people. When we do the martial arts museum, and when we grow to a bigger place, we're going to include wrestling and capoeira and boxing and all that in there, because that's kind of part of the martial arts, because kickboxers do boxing as part of kickboxing, you know. So that's all part of the martial arts. But for right now, we're kind of mostly focusing on Asian martial arts due to space and due to, you know, everything else that we know. So we want to make sure the history of the martial arts is kept alive and later expand to other areas, but not in the future. Anna, thank you for bringing that up. In the future, start bringing in some of the other areas of martial arts. Hopefully things will work out and we can get the large place, and that way we can do a lot of different stuff. We can do many different areas of martial arts and boxing and all that. And the other goal is to have an exhibit area. And in the exhibit area, we can highlight different things every month. You know what I mean? This way we'll give people a chance to get in the museum, even if someone isn't part of the history of the museum, but they're a significant part of the martial arts. And we want to celebrate them. And it'd be nice to have a month dedicated to them and in an exhibit. And I think that would be pretty cool, you know, to have, let's say, the kickboxers of the 70s, or, you know, the different things that the capoeira people of the 80s, or, you know what I mean? Different things highlighted in the exhibit area. And that way everybody gets a little chance to be part of the museum in some way or another. I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, you could do students of Ark Wai Wong, and then you put, you know, all these people's uniforms in there and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. And thank you for bringing that up. By the way, uniforms is very important. We do our best to try to collect as many uniforms as we can. We have several people's uniforms. We're telling people right now to hold on to the uniforms. Graciela Casillas was bringing her uniform, to hold on. Graciela, hold on, everybody, to the uniforms, because as we right now are waiting to transition, this COVID has thrown a monkey wrench into everything. So we'll see what happens. We were on track for the new location, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Everything's all over the place right now. So let's pray it all goes forward, and we can start collecting uniforms and start doing getting ready to relocate. But right now, everything's up in the air, and we'll see what happens. There's a question over here. Kemba Joe, I can imagine a Big Trouble in Little China reunion at Dragon Fest that hired so many Asian martial arts. You know, every year we get, you know, James Liu is there from Big Trouble, Jiro Kimura is there, Albert Leong is there, Eric Lee is there. Everybody you can think of that was in Big Trouble in Little China, all the Asian fighters and stuff, they're all there, which is very cool to have them there every year. You know, I grew up with them, so they're very. I'm thankful for them for coming, and they're there to support the museum, and that's so kind of them. They have a booth every year, so it's so kind of them to be there. So if we can get John Carpenter and Kirk Russell and all them this year, that'd be pretty good. But again, COVID, we don't know. We don't know. There's another question. Is there a section of the museum dedicated to female martial arts? The museum right now is limited on space. When we get a bigger place, we're going to do a lot of different things. We have to, that's why I say the exhibit area I think, is a very important area in the museum, because even though we can't get to every category or can't separate every category, we can at least do a certain exhibit that we can honor that category. And that's very important, to have an exhibit. And, it's amazing when you do that. And so if we can't specialize this martial arts or this martial arts, or it's too broad, or you know what I mean? Like kickboxing, you have both female and male in kickboxing, but they're both pioneers of kickboxing. Either way, you have, Benny Urquidez, you have Joe Lewis, and you have Lily Rodriguez, and you got Graciela Casillas. They make up kickboxing. They're the pioneers. These are the people that made it. So you know what I mean? Do you want to separate them and then put them over here? You know what I mean? So I'd rather have an exhibit. That way we can rotate the exhibit, have a celebration of the exhibit. Oh, this month we're going to celebrate this. This month we're going to celebrate the guys that do balisang, or this and that. And I think that make a nice big celebration about it, and make a whole area. And that way everybody gets a little chance to be in the museum. I think that's important, that we get, especially here at the museum, we do a thing called honor days, and that we honor a certain person, and we make a big celebration, and it's a big howdy do, shall we say. That's what they used to say. Yeah, I made you myself here. And a big thing about them, and and we do that here. We show a video of them, and we do a big presentation, a 2-hour presentation, that we honor different people here, and all kinds of people that we honor here. Doesn't matter. And it's a great way to say thank you to them. We have video of their life. We read their biography. They get an award, and their family comes to honor them and all that. And we do those honor days here at the museum. Right now, we can't do it because of COVID, but I want to continue that when we get the new place, to do that day of honoring them. And as we honor them, wouldn't it be so cool is to have, for that weekend, or at least a couple weekends, their items in the exhibit area. So let's say we honored Robert McCullough. So let's say we honor Robert. I'm going to use you, Robert. And we honor Robert for that day. We talk about him. We show a video of his life. Then you come into the museum, and there's the exhibit area, for a couple weeks or whatever. And there's Robert's uniform. There's his trophies he's won. There's his belts he's won. There's the pictures of him. How cool would that be? You know what I mean? So we want to do what we can to celebrate everybody. Even if they're not in the museum permanently, we at least want a place for them, even temporarily, to be acknowledged and recognized for what they did for the martial arts, or the impact they've had on others as well. So that's why we do the honor days. And I want to continue that in the museum, and have an exhibit area to honor them. That would be really cool. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? That would be really cool to do that. And I think that'd be pretty special. That'd be pretty special, It'd be, what can I say? It'd be pretty special. Anna says, we update the photo gallery, the martial arts museum website. The photos are there. They're amazing. And I found some unique pictures. We are doing our best. I try to dedicate a little time for each thing, and I got to kind of spread it out. So I don't have too much time to put a little bit. So I started the photo section like, okay, that's enough for right now. Now we'll focus on this part. That's enough for now. Now we'll focus on this part. You know what I mean? So I got to put a little here, put a little there, and then kind of come back and add a little more here and there, because this is not a big team we have here. It's like me. Right now I'm working on the expert class. I am going to be using, thankful to Fireboards and Jacques, martialshop.com. Martial Shop was a very well-known site that Fireboards had it for a long time. He used to actually do training classes on Martial Shop. So I'm going to be taking over that, and he's going to point that to a certain site, and I'm building that site now for the expert class. So it's going to have both the expert class and shopping stuff that you can buy as well. But it's a shop altogether, both workout shop and things to buy shop. So I'm working on that at this moment. At the same time, working on the newest YouTube coming out pretty soon. So anyway, I'm working on them both. I got one hand doing Photoshop here and one hand doing Final Cut over here. So I've got Final Cut literally open right here and Photoshop open right here. So I'm kind of doing them both at the same time. Yeah, I love that. I love Photoshop. It's a great program. I started Photoshop when they didn't have layers. That's how old I am in Photoshop. Anyway, Robert McCullough says, let's say maybe $5 a photo. There you go. There you go. We shoot a lot. You know, we shoot a lot of videos here, and we do a lot of stills. We just shot the stills of Don Wilson, Cynthia Rothrock, Graciela Casillas, and who else did we shoot? Art Camacho, and we just shot them a couple months ago. Session here, and we shot them out for updated pictures and all that, so they can use those pictures. So it's kind of cool to always shoot those guys. We offer it free here at the museum. They work with us, and it's very nice, and they help us. We help them with those areas, and they help us with other areas, and that's very nice. I want to say thank you in advance to many people like Graciela Casillas and Stephen Hayes and Felix Royales and many other people, Michelle Mano, and so many other people, and Simon Ree and James Liu, and many of those guys who are being part of our expert class that's coming up very soon, this next month, sometime in February, probably mid-February. We're going to be launching expert class. It's going to be a free class, guys, for you guys to enjoy. It's going to be part of YouTube, so we'll get more hits from there and more views, and that'll help us out, and that'll be out pretty soon. Let's see. Another question. Have you ever had Master Rondi in the museum? She is awesome. Rondi, I don't know. What's Rondi's last name? I don't know who met Rondi. I started Taekwondo with her via Zoom in Mexico. I don't know Rondi, so send me her last name. I don't know who it is. Let's see. Art is awesome. Art Camacho is a great guy. Art Camacho, one of my dearest friends, my best friend in the world is Art Camacho. He's a great, great man, and that's very cool. You know, he's just a beautiful man. He has helped me so much. We have been best friends for, 20 years now. And he's been there through my toughest times in my life. And I want to say always a thank you to Art Camacho. You know, he's been a shoulder to cry on, and I appreciate that very much with him. We do a lot of stuff together. So anyway, sorry. Robert says, Roddy McKee. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. So thank you. I don't know everybody. I don't know everybody. So always, guys, bring up people, people I don't know, bring them up. I'm always open to people and learning more about people. I think it's cool to learn more about people. So Cramps Fight Corner, thank you so much. Wayne Sante, how are you? I hope you're doing well, Wayne. I hope you're doing well. So thank you for tuning in. She had the largest dojo in America. How cool is that? How cool is that? That's fantastic. Fantastic. To have a dojo, that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to have a dojo. It is a hard thing. Believe me, I couldn't do it well. I couldn't do it well when I had mine. I admire people who can last this long and have a dojo. So, Cram Sam, I am good seafood, still alive. There you go. There you go. Congratulations, my friend. Will there be a biography of Kim Kahana? Yes, Kim Kahana was inducted into the Hall of Fame. We are trying to do the Hall of Fame biographies of every one of our Hall of Famers. Every one of our Hall of Famers. The goal is, when we get the new place, is to have a wall. Will be all digital and all that, and you can touch the wall, and it'll bring up that person's written information or video. And you click the video, and that's the biography we're making. And that's why we're making them as part of it. So yes, Kim Kahana. I remember Kim Kahana in the early days, back in the stunts in the early days. That was a long, long time ago, Kim Kahana. What a talented individual. Robert says she retired in Mexico now. Wow, very cool, very cool. Again, running a school is not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing. It's a hard thing to run a school. I admire anybody that can run a school. My friend Firebird Sashak has a school over here, and he's got about 400 students. Before COVID. Yeah, I know, before COVID. Now it's down to like 12 students or 20 students. And what a terrible thing it has done to all of us. Terrible thing. But anyway, I admire anybody that can hold a school. Mine only lasted a year. That was it. That's all my school lasted a year. And I said, this is not for me. I still trained, I still taught for the last 40 years. Well, 52 years I've been doing this. 53 years. Wow, that long. And I still teach. But I just teach in the back area or the garage or something like that. I learned a lot from a garage school. A lot of my trainings from garage school. Anyway, Robert Kimpo Joe says, "Uh-oh, Chong, Danger Island is next. Kim Kahana was on the Banana Splits. I remember that on the Banana Splits. Yeah, that was Chongo, right, or something like that. And the Banana Splits. What a great show! The Banana Splits. I love that show. I love that show. Yeah, Chongo. That's right. Right. I remember Chongo. Huh. Yep. Yeah, I remember that show. They brought back a new movie, The Banana Splits. Horrible movie. They just brought it back recently. Just a horrible movie. Don't watch it. It's a terrible movie. So anyway, thank you, Kempo Joe. Very cool, man. That's your Bella. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Today was just kind of a conversation with me, and to talk about cool stuff and great stuff. Robert says that was a cool show. It was a cool show. I like that show. I used to love the original Batman series. I still love the Batmobile. That's my favorite. Of all Batmobiles, are my favorite. Matter of fact, I have been talking with a guy. I apologize for not remembering his name. I'll look him up. Who makes the replicas of the Batmobile? And I said to him, "Okay, if this goes through and we get the funds for the bigger place, and I plan a restaurant in the place, the Batmobile has to be in the restaurant. Period. You're making the Batmobile to put in the restaurant. Just like they have at the Hard Rock Cafe or any of those. The big car in the middle. I said the Batmobile's got to be in there. It's got to be in there, right, Joe? Robert, it's got to be in there." So anyway, I love that car. Great car. I saw a replica once at Comic-Con or something like that. So anyway. Okay, I think that's about it, everybody. Anybody else have a question for me? Okay, Robert says, "Yeah, my mate had Burt Ward on his radio show. One cool guy indeed." Oh yeah, Burt Ward. What a talented guy he was. I think I saw on YouTube that he came up with the word holy, like holy macaroni or holy this or holy that. And they loved it and they kept him saying it. I saw that somewhere. I thought that was pretty cool on there. He was a martial artist as well. I think he did judo and something else, but he was a martial artist. I don't know how much he was into martial arts, but I knew he was had a martial art background. Let's see. Joe says, "What? No Black Beauty? Oh my God, what great car Black Beauty is! I know, but it's not as cool as the Blackmobile. It's not as cool with the curves, and all that cool stuff. That was the car. But I know Black Beauty. I'd love to have that out there. We were approached once by the guy who actually has Black Beauty to have it here at the museum. And I told him, we just don't have the space, even to have it for a weekend. We just don't have the space here at the museum to have it. And it was a very nice gesture of him to want to bring it over. And there was just no place to have it. We just not a big place. So there's just no place to have the Black Beauty here. But that was very nice of him to offer that. That was very cool. Robert McCullough says he got to train with Bruce Lee when he was on the show. Oh, how cool was that? How cool was that to be able to say they trained with Bruce Lee? That's very nice. Before I close this, I had my wife's friend. What was he at? In Seattle? Was in Seattle, and she said that she was going to this picnic or somebody's backyard, and there was this guy performing, and she didn't even pay attention to who was performing, doing a little demonstration out there, and it was Bruce Lee back then, and she didn't realize it till years later. Hey, wait a minute, that was a guy that I wasn't even paying attention to and talking to everybody else that was doing martial arts, doing a little demo. Was Bruce Lee, and she didn't. Years later, after he was gone, didn't realize that was him in her friend's backyard doing some martial arts. So kind of funny. Robert says he did. I will send you the video. What an interview! He now rescues dogs and makes pet food. Gentle Giants, the company. Yeah, Burt Ward. What a talented him and Adam Westware. Great people. I met Adam once at a comic convention that was kind of cool. At these Comic Cons over here, you can meet everybody, which is kind of great. I met the guy. What's that guy on Airplane where he talk jive? What's his name? I met him. What a cool guy he is. He's just a great guy. And from Airplane movie, the movie Airplane. Oh, just a beautiful guy. He was there selling pictures of him from the movie Airplane. And then the guy in Star Trek, the one he was on Vasquez Rocks and he was like a lizard. Remember that lizard on original Star Trek series? He was there and he had his head there, from the Gila monster, whatever he was called. And he was there, and that's the guy who played it. That was pretty cool to meet those guys there. That was really nice. And then I got to hang with the Soup Nazi. Remember him, the Soup Nazi from Seinfeld? I never watched Seinfeld, but I did watch the episodes of the Soup Nazi, and I got to hang with him for 4 hours. Him and I sat at a booth together, just hanging out, me and him, because he had nobody to hang with. And I said, "Hey, you need company?" He says, "Why not?" So we talked about martial arts and other stuff for like 4 hours. That was kind of fun. So Robert says, Burt Ward rescues 16,000 dogs. Oh, he's wonderful. Wonderful. There's nothing greater than the little doggies. Nothing greater. There's nothing more wonderful than little doggies. So that's wonderful of Burt Ward to do that. I should contact him. I really should, to have him come to one of the Dragon Fests and talk about the dogs and all that, his rescue thing. I'm going to do that. Thank you for bringing that up, Robert. I'm going to give him a call and or send him a note and see if we can have Burt Ward there at Dragon Fest. That would be kind of neat. We had, Lisa says, Lisa Pitch, thank you for watching, Lisa. She met Lou Ferrigno last time. I know, he's got a booth. These guys at Comic-Con, like Lou Ferrigno had just a regular booth. You go, hey, that's Lou Ferrigno. There he is right there. And a lot of people had just regular booths. And you could just say, hello, how are you? That was kind of cool to do that. So yeah, I think I said hello to Lou Ferrigno. That was it. But how cool was that, Lisa, huh? Lisa Pitch, thank you so much for always helping, Lisa. So much. Thank you. You should get a booth there. It is so hard to get a booth at Comic-Con. It is thousands of dollars to get a booth. Thousands of dollars. And especially in a nice place. If you get a booth, it's way in the back. My brother-in-law, Paul Wee, he's the guy that, hang on, I'm going to turn this. You see that? Can you see that guy right there? Okay. That is the Terracotta Soldier. That is carved out of styrofoam by Paul Wee. And Paul Wee is the head animator of The Simpsons. And Paul Wee is my brother-in-law. And he has a booth at Comic-Con. But it's very expensive. And he's there the whole week. They have it. But his booth is way in the back. And he's been going there for years. So to get a nice booth way up front, it's really expensive. And we just don't have a budget for that. We tried every way to get on there. The year before, they got a booth for Cynthia Rothrock and Don Wilson. So I sat with Cynthia the whole time, but they got one of these booths that are way in the back area for autographs, and hardly anybody sees them. So it's just hard to get a booth there. Oh, you guys notice right down here? See my little tiki guy right here? Isn't that cool? That is a Hawaiian Tiki made for us by Bill Weber. I designed the tiki. I took some stuff from the internet. I saw a design on the internet, and I thought it was pretty cool. Then I just redid it a little bit. And then I sent it off to my friend, and he carved it for me. And he moves, he talks, and it's an animatronic that we're going to have here at the museum. So I got to learn how to talk Hawaiian, so I'm going to be the talking tiki as well. So that's the tiki. It's an animatronic. His mouth moves. It's kind of cool. So I love animatronics. I'm from Disney, Walt Disney Productions. I used to work as a graphic artist for Walt Disney Productions back in the 70s. So this animatronic and all this stuff is always fun to me. So I like to continue that here at the museum. As you can see right on top, see the right top, that guy out there? There he is. He's from Big Trouble in Little China. My brother-in-law made that for me. And Bill Weber, animatronic for me. So he's a talking guy. He greets the people as he comes in, which is kind of cool. So that's what we're doing with this guy. We're making him talk to people as they come in. So it's kind of cool. Lisa says, yes, where where are all the anime stuff and artists all? Yep, they're way over there. And it's it's hard. They're way in the back. They're not out there with the big guys. The booth is not out there with the big guys, and people just walk by them, and it's kind of sad to see. And he's got a booth somewhere around there, and I wish he'd be more out there, but it's very expensive to get a booth at Comic-Con. Very hard to get in, and let alone. Brian says hello. How are you, Brian? Thank you for watching. Okay, let's see another question here. Tiki looks great. How cool have you? How cool you had some awesome jobs, pal. I love being an artist. Here's my tiki. See if you guys can see it. I'm going to bring it a little more. Okay, see, here's a tiki guy. I'm going to bend it down. See him right there? Okay. Now in the back over here, see over here, this stuff. This is all comes together, and it's all wired up. Now in the days I started that tiki right above there. See that tiki there? That guy, the skull head. Okay, he's got speakers way on the ends, and he's got a metrics board way over here on my desk. Now things have changed a lot since we started that one. Everything is self-contained in the tiki guy, so everything is in here. The audio stuff, the speakers, everything is now inside the tiki guy. So now people can walk by and everything is self-contained. So things have changed a lot in regard to animatronics. So that's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to get the tiki guy up pretty soon. I'm working on getting him there. Let's see, another question. Nice. Thanks, Grant. Thanks, nice. He has the 2 handshake signs. Yes, he does. Like that. I designed it, but someone else actually designed it. Someone else really designed it. And I said, okay, I don't want to copy them, but I'm going to make it kind of close to them because they did a great design. So I kind of took some pieces, a lot of pieces of what they did and just changed it. We made little improvements and, little stuff that meet us here and a little more. Kind of groomed it a little bit different. But someone else kind of made the design, really. I didn't really design it from scratch. That's a little different design than I'm used to. Anna says, how are you going to make biography series of movie stars who are in the Hall of Fame? How am I going to make them? Well, we used to make biographies of people, quick 5-minute biographies of everybody. We had a lot of them. But now we've got them about 30 minutes now. And I put them in there. I want to make it. Let me grab one right here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Like this one. Okay. This is a nice biography. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, there we go. Okay, on Joro Kimura. Okay. We do our best to make it as nice as possible because, one day we're going to be gone. And this is going to be all that's left of them, besides the movie, parts of the movie and Big Trouble and all that. But we wanted to make sure that their legacy wouldn't be forgotten, and we do a quality job, a professional job that people can look at and say and show to others, this is a wonderful presentation about them, their history, their lives, and the impact they made on history. And we do a back. See how nice the back looks? Okay, see it? We do a nice professional job. We do as professional as we can, and as proud as any studio can put this out. And we want these people to be proud of what we've done for them to keep our history alive. So I pour my heart and soul into the biographies. I really do, and I think it's very important that their kids or great-great-grandkids can look back and see the videos and see the history of that person. So I think that's really important to do. And that's why I put my heart and soul into these videos. All the biographies that I have done personally. Other people have done it for me, and I thank you for that as well. That's very kind of you. William Chris Ford, Jim Towns have all done wonderful biographies. The ones I know I have done personally, and they obviously put their heart and soul into it as well, and I do as well. I put my heart and soul to them. I want them to be proud of these biographies. We do the artwork here. If you see the dragon and all that, and we do everything we can to be as professional as we can as possible, because we want them to be proud of something that we put out. and proud of the museum. We want people to be very proud of the museum, and that's why we do our best to make it as nice and wonderful as possible so people can enjoy it for many generations. You know, we just got new hats. I'm going to turn this. You can see this. Sorry about the mess here. Okay, see if you can see the hats. Okay, I'm going to turn it here. Okay, can you see them? There he goes. Okay, see, these are all new hats that just came in. I'm going to lean it back a little bit. Aren't they cool? I don't know if you can see them too well, but these are all the new style hats that we just got in here at the museum, and we are going to start putting those online very soon to make them available. We've never had products online that we have sent out ourselves. We always did it through Amazon, but we're going to start doing it out pretty soon. I'm investigating. We might do it ourselves or might do it through Etsy and .com and do it through there. We're not sure. We'll see what happens. But we just designed a whole bunch of great hats that are pretty exciting, and I hope everybody will enjoy this. Okay. Any other questions? Robert says, you do an awesome job. Thank you, Robert. So proud of your work. Thank you. Again, before, as I close this, and thank you guys for hanging on for so long. I appreciate that. I just want to see, it has been an honor to serve you, to be the steward, shall we say, or the person doing everything to keep our history alive, to this is when I'm gone, someone else will be here to keep the history alive. And I have just been so honored to be part of this. And I thank everybody for having faith in me all these years. Many people, James Liu was there in the beginning, Doug Wong, Kariogawa Wong, those guys, Fibers or Jacques, were there just cheering me on in the very beginning. Eric Lee helping me out. And, who am I? And there they were helping me out to get this museum going. And I cannot say enough of how honored and privileged I am to be able to provide a presentation, to provide a place of history, to at least be the brick that starts the foundation, shall we say, to keep our history alive. I'm very honored and very touched, and I want to say thank you to all of you who have supported me back then and have support me today. This has not been an easy road. It has not been an easy road, especially financially. It's been a horrible road to me financially, but I think it's the right thing to do. And I pray that all things go forward, and the funding that we had been working on for all these years doesn't get lost through the COVID and goes through. And I just want to say thank you for so many people who have come along and supported us in every way possible, whether it be financially or giving of their time or helping here at the museum or putting up, like today, Raphael Cochet was here doing plumbing and stuff, giving of his time, not charging us at all. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. It has been my honor to serve all of you. And I hope I live up to your expectations of what my plans for the museum. And I hope it's a wonderful celebration of all our lives, and that people 100 years from now can look at the Martial Arts History Museum and be honored for what they've read and the history and the impact of martial arts and the impact it has had on America and the rest of the world. So you can say, any of you who have given anything to help us out financially or given of your time to help us out, you can say without any reservation that you were part of the museum. You were a stepping stone. You were part of one of the stones in the wall in the museum. You were there and you helped it out, and you were part of the building of the Martial Arts History Museum. So I want to say thank you to all of you for helping out, and it has been my honor. And hopefully we'll continue to go more and more forward and do fantastic things here at the Martial Arts History Museum. So thank you all, guys. You touched my heart. You touched my heart. And I leave at this. I promise I leave at this. Someone asked me, what is your favorite thing at the museum? And I say, the journey. The journey is my favorite thing because it is through the journey I have met many people like these here watching right now, and many people along the way that I would never have met who have continually given of themselves to help the museum. And the journey, meeting everybody and being part of everybody's life, and then part of my life, has been wonderful. So my favorite thing in the museum is the journey. It's the journey because of all of you. So thank you very much. You guys all take care. And I kept you on here too long, but thank you so much, everybody. Take care and be safe.